Hello, Strat-O-Maticers. Welcome to Game 5 of the 1977 series replay between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees. Our series currently is tied 2 games apiece, with the Yanks winning Game 4 8-7 on a Greg Nettles top of the 9th home run. So welcome back to another edition of this series. My name is Keith. I'll be your host for the next hour and a half as we work through this replay. So a couple things before we get started. I do use historical lineups off of baseballreference.com. So our starting pitchers today are the actual starting pitchers of Game 5, along with the lineups that both Billy Martin and Tommy Lasorda used. Player substitutions will be my own as the game progresses for both pitchers and position players as well. So we are utilizing the super advanced rule set for Strat-O-Matic, along with all the ancillary rules that go along with that. Game 4 was pretty cool because we had several rules pop into play that don't get used very often, and I think we had a pretty accurate representation of how those rules worked, especially in the 8th and 9th innings of that game. We're also using ballpark effects, so we are at Dodger Stadium for Game 5. This will be the last game at Dodger Stadium, and then we'll head back to the Bronx. So if we look at the ballpark effects for Dodger Stadium, we see that a base hit occurs on a 1 or a 2, regardless of the side of the plate that a batter swings from, and then a home run is a 1 through 11 on both sides of the plate as well. So pretty difficult to get a base hit when the ballpark effect comes up, but we have had, I think, 1 or 2 home runs that have fallen in within the ballpark effect for home runs. So historically speaking, the game was played on October 16th, 1977. It was a day game played on grass. 2 hours and 29 minutes was the length of the game, and it was a Sunday. Paid attendance was 55,995. So we'll get into the lineups here as well. We'll talk a little bit first about the starting pitchers. These are your Game 1 starters. Don Gullett pitched a masterful 8-inning gem in Game 1 for the win. Sutton pitched a very good game as well, but he incurred the loss. So rematch of Game 1 starters. So looking at our starters for the respective teams, from the Yankees perspective, we have the left-handed throwing Don Gullett. He has a 7 endurance rating, fielding error rating of 410, no opportunities for a balk with 0. However, wild pitches will occur on a 5 or less. He has a -2 hold rating. We couple that with his battery mate Thurman Munson. There'll be a -3 total catcher-pitcher modifier for any stolen base attempts by the Dodgers. He has he uses the number 1 rated hitting card. He's a weak hitter and he bats from the right side, and his bunting rating is C. So that's Don Gullett, again your Game 1 winner. In Game 1 he pitched 8 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. No runs allowed. So again, a really good performance by Gullett in that first game of the series. Don Sutton's on the hill for the Dodgers, right-handed thrower. Sutton's endurance rating is a 7. He has a fielding error rating of 3 and a 6. He will throw a balk, or he will have a balk occur on a roll of 1 or roll of 1, wild pitch 4 or less. He has a +2 hold rating. So you couple that with Yeager's -3 arm strength rating, and you've got a total modifier of -1 for stolen base attempts for Yankees runners, so that's helpful for the Yanks. He's a number 2 batter. He's a weak hitter, bats from the right side, and he does have a bunting grade of A, which I think came into play in the first game when he was able to move base runners along the path with sacrifice bunts. So those are your 2 starters for the game. Sutton in Game 1 pitched 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 1 wild pitch, and he did suffer the loss. So those are your Game 5 starters. So getting into the lineups, we'll introduce the visiting lineup first. Put this out. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see that, but we'll run through it regardless. So again, Sutton's a right-handed pitcher. Yankees have a righty-lefty lineup set up. This is pretty similar to how they've played all their games. Not much variance in terms of the order itself, but quickly, Mickey Rivers will be playing center field. He has a +2 arm rating, so he's a little bit easier to run for extra bases on than some of the other outfielders in this game. He does bat from the left side, and he has a 3.9 fielding error rating. Batting second is the all-star Willie Randolph, playing second base, batting from the right side. He is a 2 and an 18 fielding error rating. The captain Thurman Munson, all-star in 77, is batting third. He bats from the right side of the plate. He does have the -1 arm that I had referenced earlier in the conversations around Gullett, and he has a 2 and a 4 fielding error rating. He does have a pass ball occur on a roll of 3 or less, and his arm has a potential for a errant throw on a 1 through 9. Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, is batting fourth, playing right field, 4.18 fielding error rating. He has a solid arm, -3, and he does bat from the left side. Chris Chambliss, your Yankees first baseman, bats in the fifth spot, 3.17 fielding error rating, and he is a lefty. Greg Nettles, the hero of Game 4 with his top of the ninth home run, which gave the Yankees a lead that they didn't relinquish. All-star and Gold Glove in 77, playing third base, fielding rating of 1, error rating of 13, and he bats from the left side. Sweet Lou Piniella, left fielder, 3 and a 7 fielding error rating, bats from the right side. He has the +1 arm rating. And then Bucky Dent at shortstop. Dent's hitless for the series so far. So through 4 games, he has not gotten a base hit, hoping to correct that in Game 5 here. He is playing shortstop, 2 and a 20 fielding error ratings and batting from the right side. And then our 9th batter is the starting pitcher, Don Gullett. So those are your New York Yankees for Game 5. We'll switch over to the Dodgers. Dodgers lineup is pretty much the same too. They did make a substitution in right field. However, pretty much the same lineup as well. So it starts out with the speedster Davey Lopes at second. He has a fielding rating of 3, an error rating of 19, and he bats from the right side. Shortstop Bill Russell, 2.32 fielding error rating. He bats from the right side. All-star Reggie Smith, switch hitter. He'll be batting from the right side for the purposes of this game. -3 arm strength, playing center field, and he has a 3 and a 6 fielding error rating. Third baseman, the Penguin, Ron Cey, all-star in 77, 2 and 20 for his fielding error ratings, and he bats from the right side. Gold Glove and all-star Steve Garvey, playing first base, a 1 and an 8, batting from the right side. Fun fact about Garvey, he has 3 hits in the series. All 3 hits were home runs. And when you look at the Dodgers lineup, very interesting. They're batting a collective probably a 225. However, they've been very competitive in all the games, being that they've taken advantage of errors and Yankees walks. So batting average is relatively low, but their hits have been timely and taking advantage of miscues by the Yankees. Dusty Baker's playing left field, Gold Glove in 77, -2 arm rating, 3 and 3 for fielding and errors. Lee Lacy, he is playing today instead of Glenn Burke. He's in right field, 4 and a 4 fielding and error rating, -2 arm. Steve Yeager, excellent defensive catcher, 1 and an 8 for fielding error rating, pass ball on a 2 or less, but he does have a somewhat erratic arm. He will have a wild throw to second take place on a 1 through 18, which could make the games interesting. And then batting 9th is the pitcher Don Sutton. So those are your Los Angeles Dodgers for Game 5. Top of the first, Don Sutton's on the mound for the Dodgers. Left-handed hitting Mickey Rivers is up first for the Yankees. Rivers has a .421 average so far over the 4 games of the '77 World Series. Pitch to Rivers, 6 and a 9 against a left-handed batter is a ground ball second base. So Lopes to Garvey for the first out of the Yankees first. Second baseman Willie Randolph is up next. Randolph is only hitting .167 for the series through 4 games. Pitch from Sutton is a 2 and a 2 against a right-handed pitcher. It's a ground ball second base C plus injuries. I'm not playing with injuries in this given historical lineups, so we will disregard that result. However, it is a ground out 4-3. Thurman Munson, the captain, hitting .412 for the series with a home run. It's a 1 and a 2. I need to shake my dice a little bit better. 1 and a 2 is a hit by pitch. So Munson takes first on the hit by pitch. First time a batter's been hit in this series. Left-handed hitting Reggie Jackson is up next. Jackson is batting .353 with 2 home runs. Infield is playing back. It's a 3 and a 6 against a right-handed pitcher, and that's a walk. So after getting the first 2 Yankees he faced, Sutton's hit a batter and now has walked a batter. Runners on first and second for the first baseman Chris Chambliss. 2 down. Infield is playing back. It's a 4 and an 8. 4 and an 8 against a left-handed batter is a walk. So Sutton's found himself in a bit of trouble here with 2 outs in the top of the first. Bases are loaded, bringing up the hard-hitting third baseman Greg Nettles, who won Game 4 with a home run in the top of the 9th in yesterday's game. Yeager takes a slow trot out to the mound to try to calm Sutton down. Bases loaded. Infield's back. And that is a 5 and a 12 against a left-handed batter. 5 and a 12 is a ground ball third base X. So the Penguin Ron Say has an opportunity to get the third out of the inning. Say is a 2 fielding rating, 20 error rating third baseman. Lowell is a 19. And that is a 10. So 19 and 10 on a 2 and 20. So that's a G1. And then a 20 for a third baseman. And a 10 is no effect. So that's a ground out. For Nettles. So we'll score that 5-3. So that's the third out of the inning. So Sutton's able to work out of a jam, giving up 3 base runners after 2 outs. No hits allowed. Yankees leave 3 on base. At the end of the first half of the inning, it's the Yankees 0 and Dodgers 0. So a little bit of excitement to begin the game for the Yanks. Bring up Don Gullett, the Dodgers lineup. So Davey Lopes is going to get the Dodgers started. Lopes is batting .176 for the series with a stolen base. That's a 6 and a 10 against a right-handed batter, and that's a ground ball shortstop. So Dent to Chambliss for the first out of the inning for the Dodgers. Brings up shortstop Bill Russell. Bill Russell is batting 200 for the series. It's a 5 and an 8 against a right-handed batter. A double 1 to 5. A fly ball to left field 6 through 20. And that's a fly out to left. So Lou Piniella is able to camp under that pop out. And 2 down now for the Dodgers. Switch hitting Reggie Smith, who's batting 231 through the first 4 games of the series. He had a home run in the bottom of the 9th in Game 4 to cut the lead to 1 by the Yankees. However, the Dodgers were unable to get any additional runs. That's a 4 and a 7 against a right-handed hitting batter. A 4 and a 7 is a strikeout. So Gullett and the Yankees are able to put the Dodgers down 1-2-3, the bottom of the first. After 1, we've got a knotted up game at 0. Left fielder Lou Piniella gets the Yankees started in the top of the 2nd. Yankees had a nice 2-out rally going in the top of the 1st, however were unable to get any runners across the plate. Left the bases loaded. It's a 3 and a 6 against a right-handed pitcher. A 3 and a 6 is a single to right field. So Piniella gets the party started. The leadoff single. First hit of the game issued by Sutton. Shortstop Bucky Dent is up. Dent is hitless so far in the series. He's 0 for 14. Piniella is not much of a running threat. They will not hold him at first. They're going to play infield back for Dent. That's a 2 and a 3 against a right-handed pitcher. That's a single. So this is a ballpark effect. Again, the Dodger Stadium is stingy when it comes to ballpark effect singles. I need a 1 or a 2 in order to get that, otherwise it'll be a line out to the shortstop. That is a line out to the shortstop. So 1 down. We've got Don Gullett up next. Gullett has a bunting rating of C. I'm going to play corners in. I am going to try to sacrifice bunt with Gullett. So he has a bunting rating of C. My corners are in for the Dodgers, so that's going to take that C sacrifice rating for Gullett and drop him down to a D. We're going to roll. So that's a 2, so we have a possible random event here. Possible pass ball might have taken place. So on a roll of, let's see, Yeager has a pass ball occur on a roll of 2 or less. So on a 1 or a 2, a pass ball occurs, otherwise nothing happens. And that is a 1. So as sure gloved as Yeager is, a pass ball gets past him, and Piniella is able to scoot his way to second base. So a pass ball by Yeager moves Piniella into scoring position at second with only 1 out. Gullett is still going to attempt to sacrifice bunt. Piniella over to third. Corners are in. So that's a 2. So the ball is hit back to the pitcher. And that is a 9. So Gullett's rating is a D. That's a 1 and a 2. Pitcher throws a ball and then the batter falls off 2 pitches. Offensive manager must decide whether or not to take off the bunt. If he stays with the bunt and this reading occurs again, the batter is out on a strikeout. So I'm going to try it again. So we're going to try to sacrifice bunt again. And that is a 1 back to the pitcher. And that is a 6 this time. So defense. Batter drops down a bunt, and the defense has the option of throwing the batter out at first. Score this as a sacrifice. We're trying to throw out the lead runner. I'm going to take the out at first. So we score that 1-3. And that is a sacrifice. And that's going to move Piniella over to third. Excuse me. Want to go with the for sure out. Don't want to screw around and give up an out here. So we're going to move Piniella over to third. And we're going to let Sutton do his job against Rivers. So if we would have had an opportunity there, it would have been the running speed -4 plus the fielder's defense rating. So Yeager's defense rating is a 1. That would have been, had I tried to get Piniella successfully to third base, it would have been a total of 8. 11 -4 plus 1. So Piniella would have needed a 1 through 8 to be successful if I hadn't have gone with the sure out at first. So probably should have tried to get Piniella at third, but again, too many times I've given up the easy out only to have a bad roll take place and the runner get safe at the base he's going to, and now I would have runners on the corners and I didn't want that to happen. So anyhow, Rivers is up. There's 2 down. Piniella's on third. Infield is playing back. And that is a 2 and an 8. 2 and an 8 against a right-handed pitcher is a ground ball pitcher B. So with a runner on third base, my pitcher is playing back. So I declared that my infield is back. So that's good. On a ground ball hit to the first baseman, third baseman, follow the rules for infield in. Okay, let's see here. I'm just looking here at the rules. With a runner on third base, always consider the pitcher to be playing in on a ground ball, pitcher A, B, or C from the batter or pitcher's card. Alright, so with a runner on third base, always consider the pitcher to be playing in. So the ball was hit back to the pitcher. So we're going to be considering the pitcher to be playing in. We have a runner on third, so it's a B, so that's a 7. Batter is safe, lead runner is out, others runners advance 1 base. Alright, so we've got the lead runner is out, so they're able to make a play at the plate against Piniella. So we'll score that 1-2 for the third out. And the Dodgers, or the Yankees, threaten. However, they're unable to convert. The second inning in a row now, they've had runners in scoring position who haven't been able to get across the plate. And at the end of 1.5, it's the Dodgers 0 and Yankees 0. Alright, the Penguin, Ron Say, is going to get the Dodgers started here. Say is batting 133 for the series. I think I mentioned this before, that the Dodgers are hitting pretty poorly in the series. They've just had some really good opportunities that they've taken advantage of with walks issued by Yankees pitchers and errors. But overall, the team has been hitting very poorly. It's a 2 and a 4 against the left-handed pitcher. 2 and a 4 ballpark effect home run possibility. So with a right-handed batter on a roll of 1 through 11, it's a home run. Otherwise, it's a fly out to left field. Now, in the super advanced rules, there's going to be another rule with this. So outfielders robbing a home run. So this is the first number in the flyout range. So a 12 is the first number in the flyout range. The ball is hit to the center fielder. So you take the offensive rating of our center fielder In this case, it's Mickey Rivers, so it's a 3. And we look at this on a home run. I'll move this up here so you can see it. So we have the outfielder rating of 3. On a home run now, it's 1 through 11. A fly out, it's 12 through 20. So we're going to re-roll this dice because there's a play at the wall. And that's a 20. So Rivers is able to catch the ball. We'll imagine him leaping up against the fence, reaching up his glove, snagging the home run just as it was about to leave the park. So that's an F8. So that's one of those unique rules within the super advanced system that can make things interesting. When the game's not on the line, you know, it makes it fun and stuff, but when you're counting on that home run to go over the wall, it really sucks because if you weren't playing the super advanced rules, it would be a home run. So anyhow, with that being said, we've got Steve Garvey up, first baseman. Garvey's had 3 hits in the series. All 3 of those hits were for home runs. Let's see if he can get a 4th one here. It's a 1 and a 7 against a left-handed pitcher. It's a ground ball shortstop. So ground out 6-3. So dent to Chambliss. And the left fielder Dusty Baker's up. Baker's batting .250 for the series with 2 home runs. He was a Gold Glove recipient in '77 as well. So that's a 4 and an 8 against a right-handed batter, and that is a walk. So with 2 outs, the Dodgers get their first base runner of the game, and Dusty Baker's on first. For the right-handed hitting Lee Lacy. Lacy's 1 for 4, batting .250 so far for the series. He played in game 4, I believe, was his first time playing. He and Glenn Burke have been switching off in the outfield. So Lacy is up. Baker's on first. We will not hold Baker. We're going to play infield back and see if we can't get Lacy for the 3rd out of the inning. So that's a 4 and a 7. Against a right-handed batter, a 4 and a 7 is a strikeout. So Gullett is able to bear down after issuing the walk to Baker to get that 3rd out. So after 2, it's the Dodgers 0 and the Yankees 0. Willie Randolph is going to get the Yankees started at the top of the 3rd. Randolph grounded out 4-3 in the first. Pitch from Sutton. It's a 4 and a 4 against a right-handed batter. That's a fly ball, center field X. So our center fielder, Reggie Smith, is a 3 and a 6. That's a 4 and a 13. So on a 3 range rating, which Smith is, a 4 results in an SI2, and a 6, he had a 13, there's nothing there, so it's a straight SI2. Single, runners advance 2 bases. Well, we don't have any runners, but Randolph is able to get on first with a single to center field. So it's the 2nd inning in a row the Yankees have been able to get their leadoff hitter on base. 2nd hit issued by Sutton in the game. The captain, Thurman Munson, is up next. Munson was hit by a pitch in the 1st inning, was able to get all the way to 3rd before the Yankees were finally put out of the inning. He was stranded along with 2 other base mates. All right. So we're going to try to steal with Randolph. So we're going to try to get a good lead. So Sutton is a +2 hold. Yeager's got a -3 arm, so it's a -1 pitcher-catcher combo. So that'd be a 15 -2. So with a good lead on a 13 or better, I'll be able to steal. So we'll roll for the good lead. It's a good lead on a 4 to 6. He's being held. And that's a 5. So I needed a 4 or a 6. And I rolled a 5, so I did not get a good lead. Randolph will stay put, and we will swing away with Munson. Randolph is still being held, however, by the first and second baseman. That's a 2 and a 6 against a right-handed pitcher. A 2 and a 6 is a double, 1 to 3, a single, 4 through 20. That's a double. So Munson gets a double. That's going to move Randolph to third. Munson will be on second. First base is open for Reggie Jackson. So Lasorda is going to intentionally walk Jackson to load up the bases. For Chris Chambliss. Infield's back. Looking to get a double play out of this. That's a 3 and an 11. Against a right-handed pitcher. That's a fly ball left field B with a question mark. Excuse me. So we got bases loaded. Fly ball left field B with a question mark. So the question mark means that Randolph will not automatically score. So we're going to have to do some computations here. So we've got the bases loaded. Our computation is A plus 2, so it's running speed plus outfielder's arm. So our outfielder is Dusty Baker. He has a -2 arm. Our running speed is a 16, so it's a 16 minus 2 makes it a 14 plus 2. So that would make it a 16 again. So we have a 16 run rating for Randolph. So I'm gonna send the lead runner. So I'm gonna decide whether to throw for the lead runner or let him advance. If the lead runner advances, trail runner holds. So the trail runner would be Munson at second. If the defense throws for the lead runner, offense decides whether to advance the trail runner. If offense tries to advance trail runner, defense can let the throw go through or try to cut it off and then make an attempt on the trail runner. So going back to the first or the second step here, defense decides whether to throw for the lead runner or let him advance. So I'm going to let Randolph advance. 1 through 16 is going to be safe. That's going to keep Munson at second base. So Chambliss gets a sacrifice fly to left. That's going to score Randolph. Chambliss is going to pick up an RBI. And there's one away for the Yankees. So the Yankees grab a 1-0 lead off the sacrifice by Chris Chambliss. Munson and Jackson on second and first base respectively for Craig Nettles. Nettles was the hero of Game 4. We have one out. Infield is playing back. Let's see what Nettles does here. That's a 3 and a 5 against a right-handed pitcher, and that's a strikeout. So Nettles strikes out for the second out. That's the first strikeout of the game for Sutton. So now we have 2 down with the left fielder Lou Piniella up. Piniella batted .311 or .330 in 77. So this will be a tough out for Sutton if he's able to get it. So 2 down. And our roll is a 5 and a 3 against a right-handed hitter. That's a ground ball, first base X. The infield was playing back. First baseman is our Gold Glover, Steve Garvey, for a 1 and an 8. It should get the Dodgers out of the inning. It's a 3, a 10. So a 3 is a G2 hashtag. Infield was back and runners were not being held, so the hashtag won't come into play. And then an 8 and a 10 is a blank. So G2 we get the out. So we're going to retire Pinella. We're going to score that a 3 unassisted for the third out. So the Yankees again mount a threat. Third inning in a row they've mounted a threat. They're able to get 1 run in on the sacrifice fly by Chris Chambliss, and after 2.5 it's the Yankees 1 and the Dodgers 0. Bottom of 3, Dodgers trail the Yankees 1-0. Catcher Steve Yeager's at the plate. Yeager's hitting a paltry 133 for the series. It's a 3 and a 10 against a left-handed pitcher. 3 and a 10 is a fly ball to right field. So Jackson makes the catch for the first Dodgers out of the inning. Don Sutton is up next, using the number 2 hitting card. It's a 2 and a 4, and that is a single. So the pitcher gets the first hit of the game for the Dodgers. So Sutton's on first. Fleet-footed Davey Lopes is up next. Lopes grounded out 6-3 in the first. Sutton is not being held at first. Infield's playing back, hoping for a double play. That's a 3 and a 4 against a left-handed pitcher, and that's a walk. So Gullett, uncharacteristically, gets the first 2 Dodgers batters and puts them on base. Shortstop Bill Russell is up next. Infield's back. No runners are being held. 2, possible random event. Potential balk. Gullett has a 0 for a balk rating, so that does not occur. So we'll re-roll the 3 6-sided dice again. That's a 3 and a 7 against a left-handed pitcher. Is a fly ball, center field B. So Russell flies out to center. Runners stay put. It's a second out of the inning. Switch hitting Reggie Smith is up next. Smith struck out in the first. 2 down. That's a 6 and a 4 against a right-handed batter, and that's a ground ball, shortstop X. So Dent has an opportunity to make a play. He is a 2 and a 20 for fielding error ratings. It's an 11 and a 9. So an 11 is a G1, and a 20 on the shortstop. It's a 9 is a blank. So that's an out 6-3. So the Dodgers strand 1 in the bottom of the third, and after 3, it's the Dodgers 0 and the Yankees 1. Bucky Dent is going to get the Yankees let off in the top of the 4th. Yanks with a 1-0 lead. Dent again is hitless in the series. He's 0 for 15. That's a 1 and a 5 against the right-handed throwing Don Sutton, and that is a walk. So it's not a hit, but Dent gets on base. Got the pitcher Don Gullett up next. I'm going to try to sacrifice bunt Dent over to second. So corners are playing in. Gullett's bunt rating is a C, so because the corners are in, we're going to move him over to a D. Let's see if we can't get that runner to second base. So sacrifice bunt. That's hit to the first baseman. So Garvey has the ball hit at him, and that is a 5 on a D, is a sacrifice bunt. So the pitcher lays down a good bunt, he sacrifices his at bat, and Dent goes to second. So 1 out on the sacrifice by Gullett. So we've got Dent in scoring position for Mickey Rivers. Dent is going to be held at second base, so he's being held by the shortstop, Bill Russell. That's a 2 and an 8. 2 and an 8 against a right-handed pitcher is a ground ball, pitcher B. So that's if it's hit to first or second, the batter's out, runners advance 1 base, otherwise batter out, runners hold. So we're going to score that a 1-3. Dent stays put, brings up Willie Randolph. Randolph is 1 for 2 on the day with a single in the 3rd inning. Infield is playing back. In the roll, a 5 and a 10 against a right-handed batter. Ballpark effect single. So on a 1 or a 2, Randolph reaches first. Otherwise, it's a line out to the shortstop. And that is a line out to the shortstop. So the Yankees strand 1, and after 3.5, it's the Yanks 1 and the Dodgers 0. Alright, third baseman Ron Say is up. Trying to get something going for the Dodgers. Say flew out to center field in the 2nd. That's a 5 and a 5 against a right-handed batter, and that's a walk. So Gullett gives up a leadoff walk to the third baseman Ron Say. Power hitter Steve Garvey's up next. Say is not being held. Looking for the double play. Infield is playing back. So that's a 1 and a 10 against the left-handed pitcher, and that's a ballpark effect home run. So on a 1 through 11, a 1 through 11. Garvey will have his 4th home run of the series. And that's a 5. So Garvey hits a 2-run shot into the left field bleachers, and the Dodgers have a 2-1 lead. So Garvey's had 4 hits now in the series, all for home runs. That's pretty cool. Start calling him Mr. October. Dusty Baker's up next. Baker walk in the 2nd. No outs. 4 and an 11 against a right-handed batter. That's a ground ball third base. A. So ground out 5-3 for Baker. Brings up the right-handed hitting Lee Lacy. Lacy struck out in the second. That's a 5 and a 6 against a right-handed batter, and that's a fly ball center field. So Rivers is able to pull that one in. Catcher Steve Yeager's up next. Yeager flew out to right field in the third. That's a 4 and an 8. 4 and an 8 against a right-handed batter is a walk. So Yeager has a 2-out walk. Brings up Don Sutton. He'll be swinging away here, being that there's 2 outs. Yeager will not be held at first, and will be playing back. That's a 1 and a 12. Line out to the shortstop. So the Dodgers are able to get 2 off of the Garvey home run. They leave 1 on base. After 4, it's the Dodgers 2 and the Yankees 1. Top of the 5th. Yankees trail the Dodgers 2-1 after the Garvey 2-run blast in the bottom of the 5th, or excuse me, bottom of the 4th. Munson's at the plate. Munson is 1 for 1 today with a double in the 3rd, and he was hit by a pitch in the 1st. That's a 2 and a 5 against a right-handed pitcher, and that's a fly ball to right field. So Lee Lacy camps underneath the fly ball. The Yankees have their first out of the inning. Jackson's up next. Jackson walked twice in his previous 2 at-bats. It's a 2 and a 7 against a right-handed pitcher, and that's a double to left field. So Jackson manages to get a hit, and the Yankees have a runner in scoring position at second base. Chris Chambliss is up next. Jackson will be held at second by the shortstop, Bill Russell. It's a 2 and an 8. 2 and an 8 against a right-handed pitcher is a ground ball pitcher B. So the infield is back. We have a runner on second. Hit to first base or second base, batters out, runners advance. Otherwise, the runners stay put. So it's a ground out 1-3 for the second out. Third baseman Greg Nettles is up next. Jackson will be held at second base by the shortstop Bill Russell. Nettles will swing away. That's a 2 and a 9 against a right-handed pitcher, and that is a strikeout. So the double by Jackson is wasted, and the Yankees are out of the 5th, stranding 1 runner in scoring position. And after 4.5, it's the Dodgers 2 and the Yankees 1. Dodgers have Davey Lopes at the plate, top of the Dodgers order. Lopes is 0 for 1 for the day with a walk in the 3rd. It's a 2 and a 7 against a left-handed pitcher. That's a single 1-11, a line out to shortstop 12 through 20. That's a line out to the shortstop Bucky Dent. So Lopes is down, 1 away for the Dodgers. The bottom of the 5th. Shortstop Bill Russell is up next. Russell's 0 for 2. Long flyouts to left field and right field in his previous 2 at-bats. It's a 6 and a 7 against a right-handed batter. 6 and a 7 is a ground ball second base X. So the ball is hit to Willie Randolph, who is a 2-18. That's a 5 and a 13. So a 5 on the 2 is a G3 hashtag. We're going to ignore the hashtag. And then an 18. And the 13 is an E1. So an error is committed. Batters to first. So Russell reaches first on an error by the second baseman, Willie Randolph. First error of the game today for the Yankees. Russell reaches on an E4. Reggie Smith is the next Dodgers batter. Smith is 0 for 2 on the day. He struck out in the first inning and grounded out 6-3 in the third. Russell will be held at first. Smith is a switch hitter. He is hitting from the right side of the plate. So he's got the second baseman and the first baseman, Chris Chambliss, holding Russell at first. It's a 5 and a 6. Against a right-handed batter, a 5 and a 6 is a fly ball center field B. So the fly out to center is the second out of the inning for the Dodgers. Third baseman Ron Cey is up. Cey is 0 for 1 with a walk in the fourth. Flew out to center field in his first at bat in the second inning today. Russell is being held at second. So that's a 2 and a 4. Against the left-handed pitcher, a 2 and a 4. Ballpark effect home run possibility. So on a roll of 1 to 11, Cey hits a home run to left field. And that is a 14. So that is a fly out to left field instead. So the Dodgers go down after the error by Willie Randolph. They strand 1, and at the end of 5, it's the Dodgers 2 and the Yankees 0. Top of the 6th, Lou Piniella is up for the Yankees. Piniella is 1 for 2 on the day with a single in the second inning. Grounded out to first base in the third. And the pitch, a 3 and a 7 against a right-handed pitcher, is a strikeout. It's the third strikeout issued by Sutton today. Shortstop Bucky Dent remains hitless for the series, although he did draw a walk in the fourth inning. It's a 3 and an 8. 3 and an 8 against a right-handed pitcher is a pop out to the shortstop. So 2 down. Pitcher Don Gullett is up using the number 1 hitting card, weakest in the deck. Gullett hits from the right side. That's a 1 and a 4, and that's a strikeout. So 2 of the 3 outs recorded in the top of the 6 were strikeouts, and after 5.5, it's the Dodgers 2 and the Yankees 1. Gullett's throwing a really good game today. Even though the Yankees are losing, he's only given up 2 hits, albeit he does have 4 walks. That's been probably the deciding factor so far in the game for the Yankees, are the walks that Gullett's given up. In fact, when Garvey hit his home run in the fourth, Ron Cey was on due to a walk that Gullett had issued. So Steve Garvey's at the plate again. 4 hits so far in the series for Garvey. All 4 have been home runs. Let's see what happens here. It's a 3 and an 11 against a left-handed pitcher, and that's a ground ball pitcher. So Soft grounder back to Gullett, over to Chambliss for the first out. So Garvey is retired. Left fielder Dusty Baker's up next. Baker walked in the first, grounded out 5-3 in the fourth. Say 3 and a 10 against the left-handed pitcher, and that's a ground ball third base. So another ground out 5-3 for Baker. So 2 down for the Dodgers. And the right fielder Lee Lacy is up. Lacy is 0 for 2 with a strikeout in the second. That's a 4 and a 7. Against a right-handed batter is a strikeout. So 2 strikeouts on the day for Lacy. And the Dodgers go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 6th. After 6, it's the Dodgers 2 and the Yankees 1. Top of the 7th, Dodgers maintain a 2-1 lead over the Yankees. It is the 7th inning. Both Sutton and Gullett have reached their point of weakness innings. So they both have a 7 for their point of weakness. So I've got the bullpens warming up for both teams. So for the Dodgers, Lance Routson, left-handed hurler, and Elias Sosa, a righty, are warming up in the Dodgers pen. And then for the Yankees, righty Gil Patterson and lefty Ken Holtzman are warming up. So should either starter get into a challenge here, being that it is their point of weakness inning, I will make a move to the bullpen. So that being said, we've got the top of the Yankees order. Mickey Rivers is up. Rivers is 0 for 3 on the day. Pitch from Sutton. That's a 3 and a 3 against a right-handed pitcher, and that is a strikeout. So that's the 5th strikeout issued or recorded by Sutton today. Willie Randolph, the second baseman, is up next. Randolph is 1 for 3 with a single in the 3rd inning. It's a 3 and an 8. 3 and an 8 against a right-handed pitcher is a ground ball back to the pitcher. So Sutton fields it cleanly and throws over to Garvey for the second out. And we have the captain Thurman Munson up. Munson is 1 for 2 with a hit by pitch in the 1st and a double in the 3rd. It's a 5 and a 2 against a right-handed batter. Here we have a ballpark effect home run. This is good for the Yankees. So on a roll of 1-11, Munson hits a home run into the left field stands. So that is an 11. However, it is on the top side of the home run range, and so we need to go ahead and pull out our outfielder robbing a home run chart. So if we look at that, and you should be able to see this too, Munson's a right-handed batter. It was the last number in the home run range. The range was 1-11. I rolled an 11. So it's the left fielder. So we look at the left fielder, and that is Dusty Baker. Baker's fielding rating is a 3. So it is a home run on a 1-11. And that is a 16. So Baker gets to the wall, jumps up, is able to snag the ball before it becomes a home run. So Munson makes the 3rd out of the inning, and the Yankees go down 1-2-3 in the top of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th, Dodgers are ahead 2-1. Quick reminder, we have Holtzman and Patterson warmed up and ready to go in the Yankees bullpen should Gullett get into a problem. Gullett's only given up 2 runs and 2 hits so far in this game, although walks have been a bit of a problem. He has 4 walks to 3 strikeouts. So we'll see how Gullett fares here in the bottom of the 7th. Last 2 Dodger batters, Yeager and then Sutton, and then we have the top of the Dodgers order. Yeager's up. He did draw a walk in the 4th inning and flew out to right in the 3rd. So it's a 4 and a 10 against a right-handed batter. 4 and a 10 is a strikeout. So So Gullett starts the bottom of the 7th strong. 4 strikeout recorded of the day. And the Dodgers pitcher, Don Sutton, is up next. Sutton utilizes the number 2 pitcher card. We have a 5 and a 5. Dutton swings from the right side of the plate, so a 5 and a 5 is a walk. So far on the day, Sutton is 1 for 2. He had a single in the 3rd inning, and he drew the 7th inning walk. So 5th walk issued by Gullett. And the Dodgers have 1 aboard with 1 away. Second baseman Davey Lopes steps into the batter's box. Lopes is 0 for 2 with a walk in the 3rd inning. We will not hold Sutton. We're going to play the infield normal. So that is a 6 and an 8 on a right-handed batter. 6 and an 8 is a single, 1 to 9. Ground ball, third base B, 10 through 20. That's a 9. So a single with 1 star for Lopes. And the Dodgers now have runners on 1st and 2nd with 1 out. Sorry about that. Must have cut my hand as I was getting things prepared here. A little bit of blood on my thumb for some reason. Alright, shortstop Bill Russell is up. We have 1 out. Russell is going to swing away. Runners are not being held. Infield's looking for a double play. We did get a 2, so that's a random event. We'll roll the dice again. And that is a balk opportunity. Well, the Gullett does not allow balks, so we'll ignore that. However, we will only roll the 3 dice again. And this was a 6 before my thumb hit it. So that's a 3 and a 9 against the left-handed pitcher. 3 and a 9 is a ground ball, shortstop A. So that's going to be a double play. So Russell hits into the double play. That's a 6-4-3 double play. And that retires the Dodgers in the bottom of the 7th. So after 7, it's the Dodgers 2 and the Yankees 1. Top of the 8th. Dodgers 2, Yankees 1. Reggie Jackson's at the plate. Jackson's looking to get this Yankees offense started. He's 1 for 1 on the day with a double in the 5th, along with 2 walks and earlier at-bats. The pitch, a 3 and a 7 against a right-handed pitcher. 3-7 is a ground ball, second base. So Jackson hits into a 4-3 putout. Chris Chambliss is up next. Chambliss is 0 for 1 with a sacrifice in the 3rd and a walk in the 1st. He grounded out 1-3 in the 5th. So far on the day, Sutton's given up only 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned. He has 4 walks along with 5 strikeouts. Kind of very consistent performances between the 2 pitchers as they've worked deep into this ball game. It's a 3 and a 6 against a right-handed pitcher. 3 and a 6 is a ground ball, first base A. So we're going to record that as a unassisted put out by Garvey for the 2nd out. And we have the All-Star Gold Glover Greg Nettles up, looking to repeat some of the 9th inning magic that he had in Game 4. It's a 3 and a 10 against a right-handed pitcher. Is a ground ball, second base. So another ground out, 4-3, ends the innings. So 3 up, 3 down. That makes 3 consecutive innings that Sutton has put the Yankees down in order. And at the end of 7.5, it's the Dodgers 2 and the Yankees 1. The Yankees do have Patterson and Holtzman ready to go in their bullpen if Gullett gets into any type of a problem here. Both starting pitchers have reached their point of weakness innings. However, really neither has been in any type of trouble here lately, so they've settled into a good groove. Reggie Smith is up, batting from the right side of the plate. Smith is 0 for 3 on the day with a strikeout in the first. It's a 5 and a 4 against a right-handed batter, and that's a catcher X. So Munson with the opportunity to make a play. Munson is a 2 and a 4. For those following on the super advanced fielding chart, that is a 17, which is a G2, and a 10 on the catcher 4, and that's a blank. So the batter is out. We're going to say that Smith hit a squibber in front of Munson, who picks it up and throws it to Chambliss for the first out. Score that 2-3. The Penguin, Ron Say, is up next. Say is 0 for 2 with a walk in the fourth. Flew out to left and right, respectively, in his previous 2 at-bats. That's a 6 and a 4 against a right-handed batter, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. So Dent with the opportunity. 2 and a 20 for Dent. Our roll is a 14 and a 9. So that's a G1. And a 20 and a 9 is a blank. So that's going to be a 6-3 putout for the second out of the Dodgers inning. Mr. Home Run, Steve Garvey's up next. Garvey had a 2-run homer in the fourth, which put the Dodgers ahead for the game. That's a 1 and an 8 against a left-handed pitcher. And look at this, gang. Home run 1-13, a double 14-20. Let's see what Garvey does. And with a crack of the bat, Garvey gives the Dodgers an additional run in the bottom of the 8th. That's his 5th home run of the series. 5 hits, all 5 home runs. Unbelievable. Wow. What do you say about that? I mean, that's from a series standpoint, one of the coolest things that I've seen in the Strat games that I've played. I haven't played as many as others, but it's pretty incredible that he's been able to do that. Again, I know this is just a simulation, but you know, the mind, you know, visualizes these types of things, and it's pretty freaking cool. All right, so Gullett is still on the mound. He has 2 down, bottom of the 8th. Dodgers now have a 3-1 lead. Baker's up. That's a 6 and a 2. 6 and a 2 is a split. Single 1-19. Line out to the shortstop on a 20. And that is an 11. So that's a single for Baker. Second hit issued by Gullett this inning. Total of 5 on the day. So Baker reaches first with 2 outs. And we've got Lee Lacy up next. So Gullett is going to be pulled. He pitched 7 2/3. Gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, all 3 earned, 5 walks and 4 strikeouts. So Gullett did a nice job of pitching the Yankees deep into the game, and he does get pulled. So we have a series of right-handed batters on the Dodgers lineup right now. In fact, the entire team other than Smith hits from the right side. So I'm going to bring in the right-handed thrower Gil Patterson. So Patterson comes into the game. Patterson has a point of weakness of 3, so he could get the Yankees out of the game if he remains in. He's able to do that. So we're going to go 8. On the side here, I do a breakdown of when pitchers hit their point of weakness. So Patterson comes in. He's able to pitch 6 outs before his point of weakness kicks in. The first three outs are already taken up as soon as he enters into the game. So yeah, interesting how that works. So Patterson gets set to deliver to Lacy. Lacy is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts in the game. Baker's on first, and he is not being held. The infield is playing back or at normal depths. So that is a 1, which brings up an opportunity for a wild pitch. Patterson uncorks a wild pitch on an 18 or less, and he does. So a wild pitch occurs. Baker goes to second, putting himself in scoring position off that wild pitch, and Lacy remains at the plate. So Baker is not being held. There are 2 outs. Lacy's going to swing away, and that is a 3 and a 3 against a right-handed pitcher, and that's a split. 1 through 15 a single, line out 16 through 20, and that is a single. So Patterson enters the game, gives up a single on his first player that he's faced, and now the Dodgers have runners on the corners with 2 outs. For the catcher, Steve Yeager. Yeager's looking for his first hit of the game. Drew a walk in the 4th. And the pitch, that's a 1 and a 7 against a right-handed pitcher, and that is a strikeout. So Patterson comes into the game spelling Gullett, creates a little bit more excitement with a wild pitch and a single to Lacy lead, but is able to get out of the inning with the strikeout of Yeager. So after 8, it's the Dodgers 3 and the Yankees 1. Top of the 9th, Sutton remains in the game. Dodgers have a 3-1 lead over the Yankees. Bottom 3 batters of the Yankees order. Lou Piniella's our first batter of the inning for the Yanks. Piniella is 0 for 3 on the day. Or excuse me, 1 for 3. He had a single in the 2nd inning, struck out in his last at bat in the 6th. And a pitch from Sutton. That is a 3 and a 2 against a right-handed pitcher, and that's a ground ball, first base B. Score that a 3 unassisted to Garvey for the first out. We're going to have a pinch hitter come into the game. Going to have the switch hitting George Zeber make his first appearance of the season, the series. So Zeber comes into bat for Dent. Should the game be continued, Zeber will be able to play shortstop as well for Dent. So Dent, very, very difficult series so far. He's 0 for 16 with 1 walk. So we'll see if Zeber has an opportunity to do something here. So he is batting from the left side of the plate as a switch hitter. Pitch from Sutton. That's a 3 and a 12 against the right-handed Sutton, and that's a ground ball, first base B. However, it is a ballpark effect, so on a 1 or a 2, Zeber will reach first base, and that's a 2. So Zeber, it's a pinch hit single, and that puts him on first with 1 out. And now we have the pitcher Don Gullett available to hit. He's up next. However, he is going to get pulled, and we are going to have a pinch hitter for Gullett come in, and that would be Paul Blair. So Blair comes in for a pinch hit. And we've got, let's see here, I'm just going to take a look at one other thing quickly. We're actually going to have a pinch runner come in for Zeber. So Roy White will be our pinch hitter, or excuse me, our pinch runner. So White comes in for Zeber. We have Fred Stanley to be able to play shortstop for the Yanks if the inning gets extended. So a little bit more speed on the base path with White. And as I mentioned before, Blair comes in for Gullett to hit. So White is being held at first. We're going to attempt a steal with White. So he'll get a good lead on a roll of 3 through 7. At 12, he'll be caught stealing. So that's a 11. He does not get a good lead, so he'll be held at first base, however. So he's being held at first base by the first and second baseman. Blair is at the plate. He's going to swing away. And that is a 6 and a 9 against a right-handed batter. A 6 and a 9 is a fly ball to right field B. So that's a fly out to right field for the second out of the inning. So Blair isn't able to contribute offensively at the plate. So now we have 2 outs for Mickey Rivers, top of the Yankees order. White is continuing to be held at first. And that's a 4 and an 8 against a left-handed batter. A 4 and an 8 is a walk. So Sutton issues a walk to Mickey Rivers, putting men on first and second base. We are going to make a pitching change for the Dodgers. So Sutton's going to come out of the game. Sutton had a really good game, though. He pitched deep. He gave up 5 hits. He had only 1 run, which was earned. He walked 5, and he had 5 strikeouts. So with 1 hit batsman. So we're going to bring in. We've got 2 righties up next. We're going to bring in the right-handed hurler Elias Sosa to see if he can't get that 3rd out of the inning. So Sosa comes in, 2 down, runners on first and second. Infield is playing normal. And we've got Willie Randolph at the plate. Let's see if Randolph can be a hero here. That's a 2 and a 7 against a right-handed pitcher. 2 and a 7 is a ground ball shortstop A. So Randolph is unable to get a hit. That gives the Yankees 3 outs in the top of the 9th. Dodgers are going to take Game 5 3-1, and that concludes our replay of the 77 World Series Game 5. Interesting game. A little bit of action here or there. I think a couple of the takeaways that I have, you had both starting pitchers work deep into the game. They both pitched well, albeit they did give up quite a few walks. And then, of course, you have the 2 home runs by Steve Garvey, giving him 5 for the series. So we'll see you next time when we play Game 6. I appreciate you watching or listening in, checking it out. If you like the video, hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you for Game 6 soon. Thank you.